Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing my April wrap-up. I read a lot of good books in April even though I was slumping so hard. I did not want to read anything. I really only wanted to read fantasy, but every fantasy I picked up was just disappointing. So I kind of put it off for a little while and was like, I'm just going to read romances because that seems to be the only thing that I can finish. Um, so let's just get into it. So I started the month of April off really strong reading Into the Dark, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. And this book was everything that I wanted it to be and everything that it needed to be. It was amazing. I would not change a single thing about it. It was consuming and beautiful and a wonderful way to end Magnolia and BJ's story. Um, I put this book off for a year, I think, just because I was intimidated, for one, by how long it was, and two, I knew that it was going to be kind of heavy and a really deep read, and I was never in the mood for that kind of read. And finally, I got in the mood for that, and I picked it up, and it just consumed me entirely. It's not frequent that you pick up a book that just captivates you from the beginning and speaks directly to your soul while you're reading it. But Jessa Hastings' books, they're just like that. And the way she writes, just you get so connected to the characters. They feel like you're friends. They feel like you're there with them. And I think that's why her books are so beautiful. I can't put into words how good this book was. 5 stars, 6 stars. I can't wait for Jessa to finally put out the Daisy Hates books. I know it's going to be a while. I know she said that those books are like really hard for her to write, and I understand. But I need them. I need them. I need them. And then I read Abby Jimenez's short story, The Fall Risk. I read this mostly because I was waiting for an anticipated release to come out the next day, and I really wanted to read something, but I didn't want to get into anything because I wanted to read Enchantra the next day. So I read this. I listened to it on audiobook, and it was so funny, so cute. There were a lot of moments during that book that, like, my jaw hit the floor because it was like outlandish things were happening to this girl and the guy too. But it was a cute little, like, filler read, like in between longer books. Um, Abby Jimenez is just a really funny author. Like, her characters are just hilarious, laugh out loud hilarious. And I think this is like the only book by her that I've read, but I definitely plan on reading like a full novel of hers soon because I really liked this book. I normally don't rate short stories and novellas, but I just loved this so much, and there was like so much into it, even though it was really short, that I gave it 4 stars. So if you want like I did, like a little filler read between releases, this is a good idea. Or if you just don't know what to pick up and you want something really fast, I recommend this. And like I said, I read that book waiting for Enchantra to come out, and the very next day I started Enchantra. And if you haven't read Phantasma, you need to read Phantasma first. They are an interconnected standalone series, and you're following the first one. I think her name is Ophelia, and the second one you're following her sister. And these books, they're fantasy, yes, but they're really different. Like, they're not like any other fantasy that I've ever read. We're following Genevieve. She receives an invitation to go to Enchantra, which is a cursed palace in Italy. And she gets there, and the guy who answers the door pretty much is like, go away, don't come back. And he slams the door in her face. But Genevieve is stubborn and headstrong and determined, and she's like, no. She gets into the house, and she quickly learns that now she can't leave. She has to participate in the Enchantra game with this family. This family is cursed, and once a year they have to participate in Enchantra, and the winner gets to stay topside. All the losers have to spend the year in hell. And now that she is in the house, she has to participate as well. I gave Enchantra 4.5 stars, and I highly recommend reading if you love fantasy and you just want something a little bit different. Then I got the ARC for Catherine Center's new book, The Love Haters, through NetGalley. And so I read that this month. It comes out May 20th, I think. And it was really good. If you've ever read a Catherine Center book, she has a way of having this character who needs to work through something, and the male main character is just kind of there along for the ride. He doesn't really have like a huge character arc, but he is a big part of the story, and he's just there with her as she kind of has like life epiphanies on what she's going through, and she just writes beautiful, beautiful stories. So I gave this one 4.5 stars. It comes out May 20th. Like I said, I highly recommend reading it. Then I continued the Chestnut Spring series and read Heartless by Elsie Silver. You're following Willa and Cade. Cade is a single dad who his baby mama, ex-wife, whatever you want to call her, left. She wasn't happy and she left him and her son and just dipped. And then Willa is hired on as his nanny because Cade also runs the family ranch. He really doesn't have the time during the summer to watch him, and he can't bring him out to the ranch to do everything. So he hires Willa to be his nanny, and obviously it's a romance, so they fall in love. But Elsie Silver's writing is great. It is super fast paced, it's easy to read, it's easy to get into. I gave this one 4 stars, and yes, I recommend reading this. I can't wait to finish the Chestnut Spring series because I am just loving the small town, found family, all of it. Then I ended the month with Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is my second Emily Henry book, and it was 5 stars. I absolutely loved this story. Miles and Daphne, they have a special place in my heart now. Miles and Daphne are in like a sticky situation, per se. Daphne's fiance left her for Miles's girlfriend. And because it was like so out of the blue, Daphne has nowhere to go. She has nowhere to live because once they break up, her fiance kicks her out. And so she moves in with Miles. So she's living with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex-boyfriend. That's a mouthful. So they're both heartbroken. They're both going through it. And Miles decides to take Daphne to show her around the city or the town that they live in because she moved there to be with her fiance. So she knows nothing about the area. So he makes it his mission to make her fall in love with the town that they live in so that she doesn't leave, basically. And along the way, they fall in love. It was just a really beautiful love story. It was hilarious. Emily Henry's writing is just top tier. I don't think the woman could write a bad book. 5 stars. So that's what I read in April. I didn't read a whole lot, but I read some really good books. Like I had 2 5 stars in the month, which is pretty good. I don't think I've had more than 1 5 star lately. Like I said, I was slumping hard, but I still managed to read books that I loved, and I love that. Let me know if you've read any of these books and how you liked them. That's all I've got for this video, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!